Coach right, he'll get you right. Create your life. It's the Realtor's life. With Coach right, he'll get you right. Create your life.
Welcome to the Realtor Life Podcast, a part of BND TV's weekly lineup of shows. I'm your host, Michael G. Davis, broker and CEO of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, also a realtor and business coach. I want to thank you for joining us today. We have another phenomenal guest lined up for you, but before we bring them on, I want to remind you that we are streaming live to the Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm business Facebook and YouTube channel. So for those of you all tuning in live, we invite you to participate in the show by sharing your comments and questions in the live chat. Your engagement means a lot to us. Now, if you have any real estate needs, whether it's buying a home, selling your current property, or even considering a career in real estate or exploring a new brokerage opportunity, stick around after the show for a very special message tailored just for you. Now, let's get to the exciting part. I am so delighted to introduce our special guest for today. I am bringing to the stage, he's a real estate professional. He's a governmental affairs advocate, broker of Boulevard Realty Group, Mr. Bill Baldwin. I want to bring him to the stage today.
Hey, Michael, good afternoon. So glad to be here today.
Hey, look, Bill, we are so happy to have you here today in this show. I know my audience, you're definitely going to be a treat for my audience. I know that. You know, before we dive into the conversation, I always like to take a moment to, not take for granted there may be some new people to our show, just to kind of share the motivation behind the show. With 20 years of experience in the real estate industry, I've noticed as real estate professionals, we aren't always appreciated. Our clients, our customers, even sometimes our colleagues, they tend to overlook the fact that we are people too. People with our own passions and multifaceted personalities. So I wanted to create this platform to give real estate professionals like yourself, Bill, the opportunity to showcase their diverse interests and talents beyond real estate. And along the way, we also offer a bit of coaching to help everyone succeed. So that's what it's really all about. Bill, I'm sure once they hear you talk, they're going to want to connect with you on social media. Where can they find you on social media?
Well, I'm on Facebook, just Bill Baldwin. You can find me there, or of course at Boulevard Realty. We have a very invested group at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and so that's just the easiest way. I'm a pretty easy guy to find, and I'm really not that hard to find at all.
I love it. Fantastic, Bill. Thank you for sharing that. It's great to know more about the wonderful work that you're doing outside of real estate, and I know those platforms are probably a great place for people to connect and engage with you. So as we get into it, I always like to start everybody out with the very first question. Since this platform is about passions and hobbies, Bill, what are some of the things that you like to do or you and your family like to do that are hobbies or activities outside of real estate?
We have a very close-knit family. We do a lot of things together. We play pickleball. We have what's called Taco Tuesday, the family, and it's not always tacos. It's not always Tuesday, but we get together about once a week. My children are 30 and 31. Luckily, they love their father, and they live very nearby, and they like to get together. And so we play games. We play pickleball, or we just go to a lot of different events and things. So we have a lot of family togetherness. And we do that. I volunteer for a lot of things which provide opportunities to get together at different events also. And so we're pretty involved in the community, the greater Houston community. We have a lake house in Huntsville. It's Sunset Lake, it's a little private lake. Our little house is like a little cabin from the 1960s, and we spend a lot of time there. My kids actually love that too, our friends and our family. And we have a fire and sit out and have a little drink and watch nature and live in harmony with the piney woods of East Texas. So we really enjoy that in our downtime, which is nice because it's about an hour from my office, which is easy for us to get to. A lot of times I work on Saturday or Sunday and then hop over to Huntsville, spend the night and come back early Monday morning or something. No one even knows I'm gone, but we love the country and we love the aspects of country living. From there, we go to visit Navasota and Madisonville and Montgomery and Anderson, a little bitty country towns, really kind of fascinate us. I'm a true urbanist about the inner city living, but we love the variety of having the country life and the small town, and like I say, living kind of in harmony with nature. We love to hike in the Sam Houston National Forest and go for long walks. We walk a lot at Herman Park and Memorial Park and Buffalo Bayou. That's another thing. We just love to go walk the city and see the city from a different, slower perspective. So that's a little bit about us.
Wow, man. So, it's interesting, like you kind of have those dynamics going where you're an herbalist and the inner city, you're a strong component in that, but then you have this balance when it comes to nature. What is it about, I guess, the nature that is so attractive to you, or the spaces?
Well, most of these big cities, no matter where it is, and travel is probably another passion of ours. And we've been very fortunate to travel many, many, many places. I know I took the kids to Medellin, Colombia, and you're going, why go to Medellin? Because their mayor won the most innovative mayor of the year award by creating a transportation project. The average lower income person was spending 2 hours a day just getting to work in their city, crowded, congested city. And they created this tram system or whatever. And at the tram from the top of the mountain to down, it lowered the commute to over only 20 minutes for the average worker, saving them 3 hours and 20 minutes out of their life. And at each tram, they had a library, they had a computer lab, they had art installations, education. So it was kind of win-win for everyone. Yeah. The thing about what we learn is that cities are living in harmony with nature. I read an author, Margaret Wrinkle. You should read her. She's a columnist with the New York Times, and she has a number of books. Her latest book is called The Comfort of Crows. And it's how through development, we're harming our natural environment, a place for the birds and the butterflies and the hummingbirds and the bumblebees, and how pollination works and how it's working for the trees. And if we don't, we're all known now how much we enjoy these parks like Herman Park and Memorial Park. But the real incentive is to get people's park space close to where they live so they can enjoy it. A half a mile park space in every residential area, quality park space where people can play and enjoy squirrels again and have the canopy of a tree, and the air quality is better. And so I think we're learning the importance of nature in an urban environment. And I'm happy to be a part of that.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like what you're saying, Bill, is we as humans, we got to get back to understand that we have to become back connected to this ecosystem.
If not, we're all going to perish because we can't just just the climate change, the issues of concrete parking lots. It's another issue that I'm kind of passionate about. What the city doesn't need is more surface parking lots. It's not a good use of our land. It's not a good use of our tax dollars. We need to think about shared parking structures where investors don't spend as much money in parking, but the consumer has more parking choices. I try and explain if there's 5 of us in a room and we each have 10 parking spaces, the consumer doesn't have 50 spaces. But if the 5 of us together go and build a parking garage, now we might have 100 parking spaces for our consumers, which is a better use of our money and a better opportunity for the consumers, and better for the environment. It allows for us to have a better tree canopy and more walkable sidewalks, and to live in harmony with those birds and butterflies that are important to the pollination of the plants that we need to survive.
Yeah, no, I love it. One of the things that, and I know this about you, Bill, that you're very passionate about, the governmental aspect, especially local government, with these things that you're speaking about. So why don't you share with the audience, what is it that got you so passionate about these issues that you're speaking about when it comes to how cities design themselves, I guess?
A lot of it does relate back to real estate. And when I started 25 years ago, I moved to the Heights because it reminded me of the small town of Huntsville that I came from. But what I learned early on is that if you're not making a difference at City Hall, if your voice isn't being heard, then you're going to get passed over. And so we learned the importance of the Heights, of organizing ourselves, having a collective voice, raising money, having money in the bank is a form of validity for homeowners associations, so that we could fight for street lights. So that I tell people, one of the biggest things we ever did was get street lights in our neighborhood 25 years ago. When we got that, people walked in the neighborhood after work at 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock night, which made them feel safer, which made them take down the bars on the windows, which made them spend more time in their front yards and know their neighbors, which there again enhanced public safety when there were more eyes on the streets. And it really was transformative to keep people, get them out of their houses that all had bars on the windows and out into their sense of neighborhood. So that collectively then we worked on getting the schools better, planting more trees, enhancing the sidewalks, and working on projects that made a difference. And by having a voice with the city council member and a voice to the mayor and the people that were making decisions that impacted our neighborhood, you could tell there was a real difference in the neighborhood. So that's really where I learned the importance of having a voice at the local level, because these local decisions impact us more. If you're closing schools in a neighborhood, the neighborhood tends to decline. If you're building up your schools, your neighborhoods will thrive. And so why all of us want a thriving educational system of local communities, because those local schools, you know, where we talked about that park space being nearby, they're at the school. So schools should be open 24 hours. We should be utilizing them at night because we're already an asset that the taxpayers are paying for. We can have continuing education for adults and children. We can have recreational facilities. We can teach ballroom dancing. You can open up these parks. 20 years ago, these parks were locked at 4 o'clock and the kids had no access to park space in their neighborhood. Opening up these parks and having spark parks and making them available to people with disabilities, to older people who needed to rehabilitate and have some form of exercise nearby their houses is common sense local government. And that's really what I've been advocating for. We've had a few successes, but I'm passionate about making each local neighborhood reflect that local neighborhood's history and character and identity, so that people don't feel like they have to leave in order to get better schools or more park space or be closer to their work. So complete communities where everything that you want is in your neighborhood. The Heights was dry for many years. And so literally I had to drive to Montrose to eat. I had to drive to the Galleria to shop. I had to go someplace else. Now everything I have is right here. I spend less than 1 mile going in the car in any direction because I can grocery shop here. I can shop here for goods and services. Everything I want is here, which means less cars in Montrose, less cars on the interstate to the Galleria, better for climate change and better for everyone. We're supporting the local businesses nearby here, which create a sense of character of independence. And Independence Heights should look like Independence Heights, and Riverside Terrace should look like Riverside Terrace, and Montrose should look like Montrose. We shouldn't have the globalization of all of these things in these pocket neighborhoods that have such a sense of characters. But they're going to have a voice at the table of their local government, or they're going to get taken advantage of.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And that's why we need more advocates like yourself, Bill, that are really giving that message, because like you're close to 30 years in this business. I'm over 20 years in this business. And the things that we're talking about are really on a high level. I think the consumer or the constituent, it's kind of over their head sometimes. They don't really get it.
Because they think they don't make a difference, but they do make a difference. It's small incremental changes that we really have a more important chance of having accomplished than just big changes. You can't always make big changes, but you can make small changes, speed bumps on a particular street, another stop sign here, a wider sidewalk there, better connections of sidewalks to the local elementary schools. These are small steps that can be had that are true enhancements, volunteering in your school so that you will keep the park open from till 8 p.m. at night or something. And it's not just homeless people there. It's actually people really utilizing the park space that's available there. But yeah, I understand the frustration that people have, but I think if you find like-minded people, we have this Heights Moms group, and they basically made a collective decision. We're going to work to keeping our kids in our schools. We don't want to leave when they become junior high school. So they bounded all these parents together in order to create a better school system for the junior highs and high schools. And I think we've seen 10 good years of efforts of people who said, we want to make a difference and keep our kids in the public schools and not have to move to go to a better school. Let's make the ones that are already here better. And I think you can't do it all by yourself, but if you can articulate your message and find other like-minded people, I think you'll find people that want the same things. You just have to find a way to organize.
No, and I think that's the key right there. Organize, right? Getting community, tapping into it, and then through the power of community, begin to make these changes. Bill, I really want you to speak to, because it sounds like, in the Heights, you experienced the transition going from one type of community to this complete community. How has that enhanced your life as not just a real estate professional, but just as a person living in that area? Like, how has your life gotten better because of that?
Well, I think because there's a more active community, it really is a safer community. And when it's a safer community, same thing, people want to stay and you do more activities. But really, it's the walkability, getting ourselves something to walk to, whether that was Buffalo Bayou Park, whether that was Stewed Park, whether that was local coffee shops. So enhanced pedestrian opportunities, more bike trails, and even the major bike trails through MKT brought people to the Heights that never would have come to the Heights otherwise. But when you come through the bike and you see the trees and you see the birds and the butterflies and you see the type of housing structures that are there, and you cross over Heights Boulevard and you see Donovan Park where thousands of kids are playing, and you cross MKT where there's lots of local shops, then it piques your interest that, hey, I might like to live in this neighborhood. Many people come to our neighborhood only through the home tours, the spring home tours and the Christmas home tours. Right. And they come to the home tours and they see our housing stock and they see how many of them are 1,000 square foot bungalows. Remember, they're 100-year-old houses, but they see the charm of a smaller lifestyle. So many of my clients sold the kids graduated in Kingwood or the Woodlands, and the grandkids are here in the Heights. So the parents move to a smaller house, more manageable. They volunteer on the Heights Boulevard and they garden there instead of their big yard. They didn't know their neighbors in the Woodlands anymore. They never used that big media room or the second floor. And so they choose a lifestyle where they can be closer to the parks, closer to the museum district, closer to the sports venues. They have a wider variety of independent restaurants, and it's the exposure through the home tour or the hike and bike trail or those sort of things. The number one factor that people have coming to the Heights, they want walkability. They don't want to be stuck in their house doing nothing. They want the ability to walk to a coffee bar or a restaurant or a meeting or their neighbors and not have to get into a car. Suburbia is about getting in your car and driving to school and driving to the grocery store and driving to work. And there's a place for that. And I'm not diminishing one versus the other, but the urban core, successful urban cores around the world, places that we travel to, Paris or London or New York, they're about that same walkability. We know it's desirable because that's the lifestyle that people choose. Houston's never going to be those cities because we're going to be greener. We're going to be less dense, but we still want the best of those things, which is that walkability, but it has to be safe. It has to be safe from crime, and it has to be safe from cars. The streets are for people. They're not for cars. We're a car-centric community, but we must think about people on the sidewalk, people that are strolling in strollers, people that have their headphones on, people that are disabled in a wheelchair or in a walker. And we deserve a city that values each of them equally, not just a city that values cars and how fast we can get from point A to point B. And we have a history of killing people along the way in those cars. So let's make it safer for the people in the car. And maybe it takes a few minutes longer, but you arrive alive. But at the same time, you make it safer for the hundreds of thousands of the rest of us that may not be in a car at that given moment. So that's a huge priority of mine. You can tell I'm a little bit passionate about it. I'm not always the most popular guy in the room or whatever, but it's okay. I think the city is not stuck in 1975. It wants to think about 2055. And in doing so, it's the same thing. It's decisions that we make today. My work on the planning commission, we used to have this 25-foot setback, which created parking in the front with cars darting in all the time. And really, that hasn't served us well. This strip mall mindset has really created a void. They're not attractive, they're not engaging, they're not safe for people. And so we look back 100 years ago where the buildings were closer to the street and you had a safer sidewalk. And there was a buffer between the building and the residences behind it through the parking lot. And we learned a lot by mimicking historic neighborhoods, much like the Heights in Montrose, Lower Westheimer, to create environments that are safer for both parties. When the buildings are closer to the street and there's transparency and there's something going on, yoga, a restaurant, anything, it slows down the traffic. The traffic has something to look at other than, look, we don't need to be going 50 miles per hour on Montrose Boulevard or Brazos or Bagby. And 30 years ago, the goal was to get people to the Woodlands and Kingwood as fast as possible. And it created a desolate downtown with no active streetscape, no active restaurants. And look, that's I applaud the burbs, and there's a place for them. And we want those people to come into the city and get the maximum of what but we can't just build a city for Kingwood and Friendswood and the Woodlands and Katy. We need a city that works for us, that choose to stay, live, work, and play, and not get in the car 45 minutes one way to go home every day. So how we make that affordable and how we make it where we're not gentrifying and how we're not displacing a large population is certainly a challenge that every city of our size is facing with and grappling with, but there are ways that we can do it. Recognizing there's a problem is the first step. And then working on trying to find ways to solve it is collectively what we'll all do.
Well, you know what I believe, Bill, and I'm pretty sure you believe this as well, that there's enough intelligence in our city and our local government to be able to come up and solve that solution, right?
Totally.
If you get the people in the room, and that the true solution can come out. Because as I listen to you talk, Bill, there's a generation, right? I mean, there are generations of people that have never experienced the kind of community that you're talking about.
Right.
That all they know is the long drives. All they know is not having access to these facilities and just the value of walking. And like there's generations that's all
we put out a weekly blog of things to do, you know, and I get compliments every week from people who have lived in Houston for a very long time and didn't know about the cistern or didn't know about the bike trails or didn't know about so many amazing things. And it's just because it's a big look. Our city geographically is, 674 square miles. It's larger than Delaware. I mean, it is a big city. And when people say, oh, I was in Houston and I went to the Woodlands, I'm going, well, I haven't been to the Woodlands in years, but I'm so glad you saw the Woodlands. But that's not really reflective of but a portion of our city. And so exposing us to the microcultures of the Hispanic community and the Vietnamese community and the African-American communities and their history of their communities and their cemeteries and their businesses. I mean, it's an important, and it's so funny. We go to other countries and we search for these things out and we don't recognize them in our own city. I serve on the Freedmentown Conservancy. African Americans after the Civil War, the freed slaves that came and established their own community, not because they wanted to, but out of necessity, but where the first doctors were, the first African-American dentists, the first African-American architects, the church community, the thriving community that the city wouldn't invest in them. So they created their own bricks to create their own brick streets. And the history of not just the geography, but the people that invested in the Yates family and Antioch Church that's still there 3 generations later. And the 4th generation is still pastoring at that church, and the history of their stained glass and the history of them fighting bigotry and racism. And, there's this huge story about Rice University wanting to try and buy all that area at the turn of the century and, tear down all those houses, and how they stood up and fought and won legal battles to protect themselves from a university taking over all that land that is now Freedmentown. These stories need to be told. They can instill a sense of pride. Look, you don't have to be African American to have a sense of pride there. That's just a sense of Houstonian pride and a sense of our culture and a sense of our history. And there's thousands of those stories throughout our neighborhoods that we can adapt to and embrace. And still, you can have new housing stock and you can have new types of shopping centers, but we don't have to obliterate everything in order to have progress. You can have both historical perspective, a sense of your past, and a bright future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my biggest takeaway from our conversation, Bill, is harmony, right? That's what I keep hearing. Harmony. We can achieve everything that we're looking to achieve, regardless of what side that you're on. We can achieve it all as long as we have that mindset of
there's way more that unites us than divides us. Most people love their city, and they love different aspects about it. We get into some groups, they don't want any change. We have to be realistic. There's nothing that's not changing. But if we, like I say, value those things that we need to value and hold on to them. Look, we're a city that's known for tearing down everything and building brand new. And I think what we're finding along the way is there's some value for some historic preservation. I'm not saying mandatory historic preservation, but some historic preservation where we value truly the history of both the structures and the place. But I think, like you mentioned, the harmony is we get people in the room. You know what we want? Safe environments, good schools, a place to shop nearby, to support independent cultures. I mean, this is the value of things that I think we can agree upon and then find ways to make those things happen.
I love it. I love it. Man, so Bill, if clearly everybody can see how passionate you are of these things, and I know that you've resonated with some people that are watching. What would be your best advice if somebody wants to get more active as playing their part in building these types of communities, this dream that we're speaking of? What advice would you give them to get started?
I think there's a way for everyone to get involved with their local homeowners association, even through renters and the super neighborhood groups, because that's a way for tenants and homeowners and businesses to work in harmony for some good. So the super neighborhood program, the city's boards and commissions, apply to the boards and commissions. They're begging for people, and especially young people and people of diversity, to be on these boards, but you have to apply for some of these things. So look at the City of Houston's boards and commissions. The county has the same opportunity for boards and commissions. Your passion might be stray animals, or it might be the library system, or it might be the park system, or it might be homelessness. There's a way for you to be able to serve your city and make a difference with people who are also passionate about yourself. So look at the local level, kind of look at the geographic area of the city, but really, there's ample opportunities. If you don't know how to get involved, you email me at bill@yourblvd.com and I'll hook you up, because we want you. If you want to serve and you're willing to spend a little bit of time, I'll find a way to plug you in to an environment that really makes a difference and that you really, truly will be able to participate.
I love it. Well, look, before we say goodbye, Bill, I just want to give you some parting words. We'll just thank you for the work that you're doing and the service that you've been doing, for real estate, for the city of Houston. You bring a flair and just a color to this kind of work. And as you continue to push that story forward about us working in harmony, you have supporters like myself and others that are listening to your story. And like you said before, we all want the same thing. It's just about working with some level of cohesion. So I want to just say thank you for not only being a guest on the show today, but also just thank you for the great work that you're doing, that you're definitely passionate about. Before I let you go, are there any parting words or maybe it's something you weren't able to mention that you want to share with the audience?
There's so much that I'd like to share. No, I want to thank you, first of all, to shine the light on this also. There really are ample opportunities for people of all ages to serve in their communities, and don't get disheartened or whatever. We're not going to win every battle. It's a long play. It's not the battle, it's the war that we're really fighting over here. And so it's easy to get discouraged. But when I've gotten discouraged, look, you dust yourself off and pick yourself up and go at it again. And sometimes it's the long game that you really have to focus on with some of these things. Change is not easy. It's slow, and the city of Houston is a big battleship over there. It doesn't turn on a dime, but it really does make a difference. And the goal is think where you really want to get there and figure out how to get there along the way. So that's really play the long game, I guess, is what I want to make sure people understand.
I love it. I love it. Well, again, thank you so much, Bill. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on today's show, and wish you a lot of success. I know this won't be the last time that we're going to be seeing you.
Thank you. Happy 2024 to everyone.
Absolutely. All right. So look, that was definitely a treat. Bill Baldwin, Boulevard Realty, a local advocate for a lot of the things that he talked about, just offering us as citizens of the city of Houston just a better, greater quality of life, not just for some citizens, but for all citizens. So we definitely applaud the work that Bill is doing. All right, so some quick announcements of what we have coming down the pipeline. I definitely want to start off with BND TV, our weekly lineup of shows that we do every week. Starting off with Monday Night Live, which is our real estate call-in show. We go every Monday live at 7 o'clock with myself, CEO Michael G. Davis, a.k.a. Coach Mike, answering real estate questions from the audience and providing advice for real estate professionals. And then what you're checking out right now is the Realtor Life podcast, something that we do on Tuesdays at 12:30. Again, it's myself diving into the life passions of phenomenal real estate professionals like Mr. Bill Baldwin that we had on today. If you want to be a guest of the Realtor Life podcast, it's easy. All you got to do is scan the QR code that's on the screen, complete the guest information card, and we can get you on the calendar. We would love to have you as a guest. All right, then we have our Real Estate Happy Hour Live that's going to be coming down here in about an hour and a half or so. It's a B&D TV show where we go live on Facebook and YouTube. We have our hosts and special guests where we're discussing trending topics found on Twitter, current events, real estate industry related topics, along with some real estate advice to consumers and realtors. It's real estate professionals talking about randomness. The best part about this show is that the audience has the opportunity to get on the screen with us and share their thoughts as well. And then finally, with B&D TV is on our Thursdays at 12 p.m. We have the Prime Real Estate Network, which is a podcast. It's a real estate talk show hosted by author, serial entrepreneur, and co-founder of Brooks & Davis real estate firm, Larry W. Brooks, alongside professional realtor and real estate investment expert, Mr. Ricardo Davis. They deliver, this show delivers no hype education and expert perspectives in a fast-paced, entertaining style. Make sure you check it out. There's a new episode released every week, so be sure to subscribe today. All right, something that we're super excited about here at Brooks & Davis is our new Houston Real Estate channel. Right now, you need to go and subscribe to the Houston Real Estate channel, where we explore vibrant neighborhoods in Texas. The vibrant neighborhoods that Bill talks about, like the Heights, or some areas in the suburbs, Shadow Creek Ranch, some of the historical areas like Acres Homes. We explore these neighborhoods. It's a comprehensive guide to these vibrant neighborhoods, get valuable insights on Houston's real estate market with our diverse range of videos, including in-depth market reports and essential tips for buyers and sellers. So whether you're relocating to Houston or you're relocating within Houston and its metroplex, this is a phenomenal resource for you to get an understanding of what all of these amazing neighborhoods are all about, so you can make the best decision for you and your family. All right. Now, one of the things that we really wanted to do coming into 2024, and something that Bill and I talked a lot about, is really building community, right? So it's one thing to build community within a neighborhood, but there's also a way to build community within an industry. So what we want to do at Brooks & Davis, along with SEO Coach Mike, is that we want to build a community of world changers within the real estate space, right? So what we've done is that now we've created this community where you can come in and you don't have to be a member of Brooks & Davis. You don't even have to have a real estate license. But if you're real estate minded and you're wanting a career, you're some way connected to this career that we call real estate, then we want you to be a part of our community. You'll be able to unlock the full potential of your real estate career by becoming a part of this free membership. It doesn't cost anything. Join our supportive family where you can grow, innovate, and be recognized. Embrace diversity as we reshape real estate with impactful solutions for all communities, not just some. Make a difference by engaging in local initiatives for a brighter future. Elevate your education beyond transaction and prepare for success, including acing the real estate exam. We even have components there that'll help people get through the licensing and get to the point to where they're passing that exam. Enjoy the accessibility and easy collaboration within our vibrant real estate community. And here's the best part. It won't cost you a dime. The only investment required is your time. The rest is on the house. Are you ready to soar? We want you to join us right now. Let's make your real estate journey unforgettable. All you got to do, if you're licensed already, we invite you to explore the World Changers community through this link that we're going to have on the screen. All you got to do is take the next step, visit that website. It'll take you about 30 seconds to input your information, and boom, you're automatically in the World Changers community. You'll learn about the features, the benefits, go into more detail once you do that. And if you're not licensed, you too can still get connected to this community that we're talking about. All you have to do is go to the link that's on the page, discover the exclusive opportunities that are waiting for you through the Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm Student Affiliate Membership. That's what's going to get you plugged in. You'll see the features. You'll see the benefits. And again, it's this beautiful community with real estate-minded individuals, because we want to help make the entire career of real estate better. I am so thrilled to share this incredible opportunity with you, knowing it aligns perfectly with your interests and goals. Go ahead and join us in shaping the future of real estate. Now, this Thursday, we have our real estate career night. So join us for our Instagram live and in-person real estate career night. If you're a broker if your broker won't answer your questions, then let me be your broker for the night. I'm the broker that's got your back. # the industry's broker. By participating in this outstanding event, you'll be able to ask whatever questions you have to a proven industry expert. Yes, proven. 20 years in this business. I know a little something, right? You'll be able to learn about some things, our commitment to education, our commitment to community involvement, our commitment to business development, right? Learn more about our one-on-one coaching, our lead opportunities. We have 3 offices. So you'll be able to learn a lot about Brooks and Davis as a whole, but you'll also have an opportunity to connect with myself as well as get educated and see the sense of education that we thrive in when it comes to Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. So you can do it in person by meeting us at our corporate office, or you can connect when we go live on Instagram as well. All you have to do, take a picture of the QR code that's on the screen on the flyer, or go to the link to reserve your spot today. We'd love to see you there. All right. And then finally, we want you to follow us on social media. Stay in the loop by following us on LinkedIn for industry insights. Connect with us on Instagram for behind the scenes fun, Facebook for lively discussions, and YouTube for exclusive video content. Join the community. Search Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm on each of these platforms. Hit the follow or subscribe button. Don't miss out on the latest updates and exciting content. Looking forward to seeing you there. All right. Once again, thank you for joining us on another insightful episode of the Realtor Life Podcast. We hope you gained valuable insights into this dynamic world of real estate. All right. With that being said, if you have, just a quick reminder, if you have a real estate need, like looking to buy a house or putting your house on the market for sale, maybe you're interested in a career in real estate or looking for a change in brokerage firm, I want you to stay on after the show as I end the show for a very special message. This has been the Realtor Life Podcast. I'm your host, Michael G. Davis, a.k.a. at CEO Coach Mike. Looking forward to coaching you into the cosmos, baby. It's time to take off. Have a great one.
Hey there, if you're in the midst of a real estate journey, whether you're buying, selling, getting licensed, or already licensed, this video is just for you. I've got some outstanding news to share, so stick around. Considering buying a home? We're here to help. We offer, at no cost or commitment, to schedule a showing for any property in the Houston Metroplex. When you choose our firm, we'll be with you every step of the way, guiding you through the process. Want to learn more? Visit our website or give us a call at the number shown. If you're thinking about selling your home, we've got some great services to offer, again at no cost or commitment. We can provide a free neighborhood buying and selling activity report, showing you the recent market activity in your area. We also offer a free in-person property condition home evaluation, where one of our professionals will provide recommendations to help sell your home faster and for more money. When you choose our firm to sell your home, we'll ensure it reaches more active home buyers than any other realtor. To learn more about this, visit our website or give us a call at the number shown. Unlock the full potential of your real estate career by becoming a part of our free membership. Join our supportive family where you can grow, innovate, and be recognized. Embrace diversity as we reshape real estate with impactful solutions for all communities. Make a difference by engaging in local initiatives for a brighter future. Elevate your education beyond transactions and prepare for success, including taking the real estate exam. Enjoy accessibility and easy collaboration within our vibrant real estate community. And here's the best part, it won't cost you a dime. The only investment required is your time, the rest is on the house. Are you ready to soar? Join us now and let's make your real estate journey unforgettable. If you're in the process of obtaining or interested in getting your real estate license, discover the exclusive opportunities waiting for you with the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm Student Affiliate Membership. Visit the link on the screen today. If you already have a real estate license, We invite you to explore the World Changers community. Take the next step in your journey by visiting the link you see on the screen. Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, your trusted partner in real estate.